Good one. Now, he's the epitome of a Lib Dem Tory, isn't he? A perfect coalition being, Ken Clarke. Began as Justice Secretary by declaring war on prison, not on criminals, on prison. Rubbishing deterrence and favouring soft punishments as the key to fighting the war on crime. Thank God he's not Defence Secretary, or he'd be sending our troops into battle armed with blanks. But he hasn't had a good start, has he? Look at the convicted murderer, Tracy Andrews, let out of prison to go on an 8-hour shopping spree. Some punishment that is. There is a reason, a good reason, why people feel that this government is not on their side. It's because it isn't on their side. The so-called Human Rights Act trumps the victims' rights to justice. We can't even deport foreign criminals who commit the most heinous crimes in the UK. Remember the tragic death of Philip Lawrence, the head teacher? His killer, the Arco Chindamo, fought tooth and nail to remain in the UK and won his right to stay. Shamefully, our collection of new Labour laws and EU diktats kept him here. Did you also know he walked free this year? He has a right to remain in Britain, whilst Mr. Lawrence was denied his right to life. What sort of country are we living in when over half the nation wants killers like Chindamo firmly punished, but our politicians and judicial system set murderers free? Just who is running Britain? Now, earlier this year, I went to Bulwood Hall Prison in my constituency, not as an inmate, I hasten to say. It's one of 2 UK prisons solely dedicated to detaining foreign prisoners. And it wasn't until I was shown round that I came across this newspaper, Inside Time. Now, Inside Time is written for prisoners by prisoners. And this one has 125 lawyers' adverts in it. Here's one. And it does so because these prisoners can harvest legal aid. And legal leeches abuse the Human Rights Act to get them compensation. One prison governor I met is being sued day in, day out. The gap between what the people's idea of law and order is and what the politicians' idea has become a chasm. Meanwhile, police stations in my constituency are already running half days, 6 days a week. We have community support officers instead of real qualified police on the beat. We have a Human Rights Act that not only blinds justice, but ties a hand behind her back. So as part of our positive vision, we will tell the people that a vote for us is a vote to scrap the Human Rights Act. It's a vote to rebalance justice in favour of the victim and not the criminal. It's a vote to deport criminals who have no right to be in this country. And on all these issues, the voters were spun a message, weren't they? Trust the old parties and vote for change. What change? Your liberties have been sold off to Brussels, and your right to live free from crime put at risk by Ken Clarke's hippie policies. And just as bad as the government's constant flip-flopping on immigration, this issue still ranks as the second most important voter issue as listed by Mori. The people want control of their borders, but they feel powerless. And they're right to feel that way, for the government simply cannot control immigration while we are in the EU. And you know, we're so tired of being told we're racist simply because we want to control immigrant numbers. We are not racist. And that is what 4 out of 5 Britons want to do. But we can't do that unless we're much tougher on illegal immigrants who abuse our hospitality and liberties and freedoms. And the Lib Dems aren't the only ones in favour of amnesties for illegal immigrants. Boris Johnson, the London mayor, he wants an amnesty. Spain and Italy, when they tried it, it was a disaster. And for every amnesty in the EU, that's more EU passports and more illegal immigrants given the right to stay here in Britain, to claim welfare in Britain, to gain housing in Britain. Ladies and gentlemen, this has to stop. I'm proud of our policies, and they will limit and control immigration. We will rebalance the process and introduce a fair points system to get the best from immigration. The message must be, if you want to come to the UK, you must be able to speak English to a reasonable degree. If you want to stay in Britain, you must be in good health and have excellent qualifications, so you contribute to our economy. And most important, if you want to come and live in Britain, you should be able to financially support yourself. You wouldn't be able to turn up and claim benefits in Australia and New Zealand. So why should you be able to claim here? So UKIP will end the welfare from day one policy on new immigration. In short, we want immigration to be fair. Yes, we want immigration to benefit Britain. We want it to benefit Britain. But these abuses must end. Now, looking ahead, perhaps the biggest test for all of us is the coming spending review. And remember that for each cut they make to a frontline service, they're still employing armies of politically correct bureaucrats. The street football coordinators, they'll still be there. The diversity officers will be protected en masse. The community empowerment network program managers, they'll be safe from the cuts. This is the ploy of big government. They will cut where it hurts to trick you into handing over more in taxes, to give government yet more control. We will fight cuts the front line without taxing you more. We'll fight to scrap regulations and political correctness that cost us billions. We'll re-energize our economy with low taxes. UKIP says no tax on minimum wage. And let's get rid of employers' national insurance over time. We must create new jobs. And we want to be free from the EU so we can grow trade in a Commonwealth free trade area. We will be a free economy with a global reach, able to do our own trade deals once more. It's no good Mr. Cameron going to India with a trade delegation when Britain can't even do its own free trade deals with India. It's the protectionist EU that does the deals. The fact is, though, that we could talk about the EU all day. But if we do not address these bread and butter issues, from potholes to jobs and taxes, we will stay as we are. A one-hit wonder Euro elections. We've got to get real. In our positive vision for our country, we free ourselves from the EU so we can implement these policies. We will explain the process of leaving and the advantages of becoming a free, independent nation once more. Now, Eurosceptics are sometimes criticized for being all negative, but this is about a positive, credible, reasoned, common-sense alternative to EU membership. That's positive vision, and we start it today.